My dear children, how are you all? Welcome to English class. Today we are going to read the lesson The Three Questions by Leo Tolstoy. Let us start. And before going to the lesson, let us see about the author. Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy, usually referred to in English as Leo Tolstoy, was a Russian writer who is regarded as one of the greatest authors of all time. He was born on 9th September 1828 in Yasnaya Polyana, Russia. His parents were Maria Tolstoya and Nikolai Tolstoy. He is best known for the novels War and Peace in 1869 and Anna Karenina in 1877. He died on 20th November 1910 in Russia. Now let us go to the lesson, children. The Three Questions by Leo Tolstoy. Section 1. There was a king who had three questions in his mind. That if he always knew the right time to begin everything, if he knew who were the right people to listen to and to whom to avoid, and above all, if he always knew what was the most important thing to do, he would never fail in anything he might undertake. So the king was anxious to find the answers for three questions. What are the three questions? Let us see. The first one is, what was the right time for every action? The second question was, who were the most necessary people? The third one was, what was the most important thing to do? So these were the questions asked by the king. So he was very eager to find the answers. And this thought having occurred to him, he had it proclaimed. The meaning for occurred is happened. Proclaimed, announced officially. So this thought made him to announce officially throughout his kingdom. And he would give a great reward to anyone who would teach him what was the right time for every action and who were the most necessary people and how he might know what was the most important thing to do. So the king was ready to give reward for anyone who is ready to give the answer for his three questions. So after hearing this announcement, what happened? Unlearned men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. So after hearing this announcement, many people, many intelligent, clever, educated people, they came with answers. But all the answers were different. In reply to the first question, the answer for the first question, what was the first question, children? What was the right time for doing every action? So the reply for the first question was, some said that to know the right time for every action, one must draw up in advance a table of days, months, and years, and must live strictly according to it. So some of them said, the answer is, how they said? They have to, like timetable, they have to plan up everything. Then only he can find the right time for doing right action. Only thus said they could everything be done at its proper time. So if you plan a table of days, months, years, it will be easy for the king to find the proper time. And others, they declared that it was impossible to decide beforehand the right time for every action. And some of the people, what they said, it's impossible to decide beforehand, they said. It's impossible to plan up earlier. But the meaning for declared is announced. But that not letting oneself be absorbed in idle pastimes. One should always attend to all that was going on. And see what they said, some of them what they said. It was impossible to decide. It was impossible to decide beforehand the right time for every action. And some what they said, you should not let absorbed in idle pastime. We should not let anybody to be absorbed, to took in idle pastime. We should not waste our pastime. One should always attend to all that was going on. Okay, now what is going on? We have to be attentive in that. And then do what was most needful. So you should not be sitting and thinking of the past. So what we have to do in the present, we should continue with that. Others, what they said, again said, that however attentive the king might be to what was going on, it was impossible for one man to decide correctly the right time for every action. So what some of them said, even though the king is very attentive, very alert, but what he needs, it is impossible for one man to decide which is the correct time. So what they suggested, they are suggesting he should have a council of wise men who would help him to fix the proper time for everything. So they are suggesting that he should have a committee of learned men. So that committee, the board of men, they would help the king to fix the proper time for everything. But then again, others said there were some things which could not wait to be laid before a council, but about which one had at once to decide whether to undertake them or not. So others, what they are saying, there were some things which could not wait or laid before a council, but about which one had at once to decide whether to undertake them or not. But in order to decide that, one must know beforehand what was going to happen. So we should decide before deciding whether to take any work or not. So we should know before itself what was going to happen. So they are suggesting it is only magicians who know that, and therefore in order to know the right time for every action, one must consult magicians. So the magician, who is a magician? A person with magical powers. So consult now we have to seek some information. So some are saying better to consult with a magician. So he may give us right time for doing right action. Equally various were the answers to the second question. So now some are saying the answers for the second question. Some said that the people, what was the second question, children? Who were the most necessary people? That was the second question. So what they were saying? Some said the people the king most needed were his counselors. Others said the priest, others the doctors, while some said the warriors were the most necessary. So some are saying that even here also the answers are different. Some said the most important people for the king is his advisors, counselors, advisors. Priest is a person, usually a man who has been trained to perform religious duties. And others said, who is an important person? Doctors, they said. And some others said warriors. Warriors means fighters, brave or experienced fighters. They were the most necessary people, they said. Then the third question. What was the third question? What was the most important thing to do? For that, the reply here was, some replied that the most important thing in the world was science. They said, what is the most important thing in the world is science. Others said it was skill of warfare. Warfare, the activity of fighting a war. Skill, talent. They said, talent of fighting in a war. That is important. And others said that it was religious worship. So they said, some said it's important, science is important. Some said the skill in warfare was important. And others said, again they were saying about religious worship. All the answers being different, the king agreed with none of them and gave the reward to none. So the king was not satisfied with all the answers, with the reply given by many. So he did not give anybody reward. But still wishing to find the right answers to his questions, he decided to consult a hermit widely renowned for his wisdom. So, children, the king was not satisfied with the reply. He did not stop. He wished to find the right answer to his questions. So, he decided to consult, to seek information from a hermit. Hermit is a person living in loneliness as a religious disciple. So, that hermit must be a very renowned, means famous for his wisdom, knowledge. So, he decided to ask such a person. The hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted, and he received none but common folk. So, there was a hermit who lived in a small forest, wood, which he had never quitted, left, and he received none. No one will go to see him, but only the common folk. The ordinary people, those who are living around his hut, that people only used to pass here and there. So the king put on simple clothes, and before reaching the hermit's cell, he dismounted from his horse, leaving his bodyguard behind, he went on alone. So he knew if he is dressed as a king, the hermit will never give response to him. So he decided to go in simple clothes. And before reaching, he got down, dismounted means he got off from his horse because he should not know that he is a king. Then he left his bodyguards, the protectors, the guards. He said, "You don't follow me, you just be here itself," he said. And he went on alone. When the king approached, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. So when the king went to the hut, he saw that the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. Seeing the king, he greeted him and went on digging. So the hermit saw the king and he wished him, and then he went on digging the ground. The hermit was frail and weak. He was very weak and delicate. And each time he stuck his spade into the ground and turned a little earth, he breathed heavily. So what happened, children? Spade meaning is a tool used for digging sand. So he was digging the earth, isn't it? So with the spade. Because he was very weak person, he was not able to do the work continuously. So he breathed heavily. The king went up to him and said, "I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I most need, and to whom should I therefore pay more attention than to the rest? And what are the most important and need my first attention?" So the king went near him and he started to ask the answers for his 3 questions. The hermit listened to the king but answered nothing. He was listening, but immediately he did not give any reply. He just spat on his hand and recommenced digging. So spat means just he clapped. Some dust might have been there, isn't it? So he spat on his hand and he continued digging. "You are tired," said the king. "Let me take the spade and work a while for you." So the king asked to give the spade and work a while for the hermit. "Thanks," said the hermit, and giving the spade to the king, he sat down on the ground. So the king now started digging the earth. When he had dug 2 beds, the king stopped and repeated his questions. So after digging 2 beds, he asked the same questions, reply for the 3 questions. The hermit again gave no answer, but rose, stretched out his hand for the spade and said, he did not give reply. Now also he did not give any reply for his 3 questions. But he got up and he asked spade from the king and he said, "Now you rest a while and let me work a bit." But the king did not give him the spade and continued to dig. 1 hour passed and another. The sun began to sink behind the trees, and the king at last stuck the spade into the ground and said, "See, children, the king did not give the spade. He was doing the work continuously. So 1 hour, 2 hours has passed. The sun began to set. So the last, after completing the work, he said, I came to you, wise man, for an answer to my questions. If you can give me none, tell me so, and I will return home. So he said, who said? The king. I came to you for the answer to my questions. If you are not able to give me any answer, tell me. I will return home. At that time, what happened, you know? Here comes someone running, said the hermit. Let us see who it is. When he was asking the questions to him, they saw somebody coming running. So the hermit said, come, let us see who it is. Now section 2, children. The king turned round and saw a bearded man come running out of the wood. So when the hermit said, someone's coming, so the king turned round and he saw a bearded man. He was running out of the wood, of the small forest. He was coming out of the forest. The man held his hands pressed against his stomach, and blood was flowing from under them. So the man who was running, that bearded man, he held his both the hands, he was pressing against his stomach. Blood was flowing under them. When he reached the king, so he came running. He reached the king, he fell fainting on the ground. So fainting means he fell unconsciously on the ground, moaning feebly. He was crying. He was very weak, very tired. The king and the hermit unfastened the man's clothing. So if somebody is in danger, what should we do? We have to give them first aid, isn't it? So immediately the king and the hermit, they disconnected, untied the man's clothes. There was a large wound in his stomach. The king washed it as best he could and bandaged it with his handkerchief and with a towel the hermit had. So the king immediately removed his shirt and he washed the wound. Then he bandaged it with his handkerchief and a towel which the hermit had. But the blood would not stop flowing, and the king again and again removed the bandage soaked with warm blood and washed and re-bandaged the wound. See, the blood did not stop. The blood flow did not stop, and again the king had to remove the bandage which was absorbed with warm blood, and he again rebandaged the wound. When at last the blood ceased, so after many times rebandaging, at last it stopped flowing. Ceased means stopped. The man revived and asked for something to drink. So, revived means bring back to consciousness, restored to life. And he asked for something to drink. the king brought fresh water and gave it to him. Meanwhile, at the same time, the sun had set and it had become cool. So the king, with the hermit's help, they carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. Lying on the bed, the man closed his eyes and was quiet. But the king was so tired from his walk and from the work he had done that he crouched down on the threshold and also fell asleep so soundly that he slept all through the short summer night. So, children, the meaning for crouched is bent or stopped. Threshold is a doorstep entrance. Here, soundly, the meaning is deep sleep. So, they took the wounded person inside the hut and he fell asleep. Here, due to the heavy work, the king also was very tired. He fell asleep so soundly. He went to deep sleep. When he woke in the morning, it was long before he could remember where he was or who was the strange bearded man lying on the bed and gazing intently at him with shining eyes. So, when he woke in the morning, he was unable to remember where he was and who was the strange bearded man lying on the bed. It took time for him to realize where he was and who was that person. Gazing intently meaning is looking deeply with concentration. That man was lying on the bed and he was looking at the king with shining eyes. He said, "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice. When he saw that the king was awake and was looking at him, so he asked to forgive him. Why he asked to forgive? Let us see now. "I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. "Why are you asking me to forgive? I don't know who you are. Then why are you asking?" The king said, "You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore to revenge himself on you because you executed his brother and seized his property." So, what he said, "King, you don't know who am I, but I know you very well. I am your enemy because you have seized my brother's property. So I want to take revenge on you." So swore means promised. Revenge, harmful act in return. Executed, carried out. Seized meaning is to grabbed, snatched. So I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I resolved to kill you on your way back. So I am your enemy. I decided to kill you. I came to know that you have gone alone to meet the hermit. So I decided to kill you. But the day passed and you did not return. You did not come. So I came out from my ambush. Ambush means the surprise attack or trap or pounce on. to find you and came upon your bodyguards, and they recognized me and wounded me. So when I came out to attack you, your bodyguards recognized me and they wounded me. I escaped from them but should have bled to death had you not dressed my wound. So I escaped from your bodyguards. But if you have not given me the first aid and treated me for my wound, I would have been dead. I wish to kill you, and you have saved my life. King, I wanted to kill you, but you have saved my life from death. Now, if I live, and if you wish it, I will serve you as your most faithful slave, and will bid my sons do the same. Forgive me. So the bearded man, now he felt very bad and he asked to forgive him. So he said, because of you, now I am living. So this life you have given me. So hereafter I will be serving you as your faithful slave. Even I will command my sons also to do the same. Forgive me, he said. The king was very glad to have made peace with his enemy so easily. So he was happy that he had made his enemy friend, and to have gained him for a friend. And he not only forgave him, but said he would send his servants and his own physician to attend him and promised to restore his property. So he not only forgave the bearded man, he told he will be sending his servants, and his physician means a person qualified to practice medicine, like doctors, to attend him, and he promised to return the property of his brother. Having taken leave of the wounded man, the king went out into the porch. So after he came out, he left the bearded man and he came out to the porch, to the entrance of the hut, and he looked around for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to beg an answer to the questions he had put. So he thought of going home now. So before going, again he wanted to ask the answer for his questions. The hermit was outside on his knees. He was sitting bending down and he was sowing the seeds in the beds that had been dug the day before. So what happened? The hermit, he woke up early in the morning and he started sowing the seeds in the bed that had been dug the day before. The king approached him and said, "For the last time, I pray you to answer my questions, wise man." He started begging the hermit to answer his 3 questions. "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still crouching on his thin legs and looking up at the king, who stood before him. The hermit said, "You have already got your reply, answers for your 3 questions." But the king was confused. He was not able to understand anything properly. "How answered? What do you mean?" asked the king. Do you not see? Replied the hermit. If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, but had gone your way, that man would have attacked you and you would have repented of not having stayed with me. So, the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man. So, what the hermit said, did you not see what happened yesterday? If you came here and you took pity on me and you started helping me. If you are not taken pity on me and you have gone your way, the man might have killed you or attacked you. So that time you might have felt sad. Why? Because of not having stayed with me. So, what was the most important time? The most important time was when the king was digging the beds. And the most important person was who? The hermit. And to do me good was your most important business. And what was the most important work the king had? To do good. To do good for whom? For the hermit. Was an important work for the king. Afterwards, when that man ran to us, so the man who came running towards us, the most important time was when you were attending to him. So next one was what he is saying. So when you were treating him for the wound was the most important time. For if you had not bound up his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. If you have not bound up means firmly tied his wounds, what might have happened? The man might have been dead without making peace. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business. So the important person, what he said, whom he has to take care, he has taken care of the bearded man. Then what he said, what you have given him, treated you, that is the most important business. Remember then, there is only one time that is important. There is only one time that is important is now. So now it is the most important time because it is the only time when we have any power. See, we cannot change the past, isn't it? So we can do everything only in the present. That is now. Now. It is the most important time because it is the only time when we have any power to do. The most necessary person is the one with whom you are at the present. For no man knows whether he will ever have dealings with anyone else. We don't know with whom we may have any agreement or communicate with others. With whom we are now at the present time, they are a very important person. And the most important affair the events, incidents, the happenings is to do that person good. So what we have to do? We have to do the person good because for that purpose alone was man sent into this life. So, children, this life as a human being we have sent to this earth by God is to do good for everyone. We have to do good for everyone, even our enemies also. So the answer has been given by the hermit. This is true, isn't it? We have to live for the present. We cannot decide the future, isn't it? We cannot think about the past. So we have to live for the present. So the time which is the most important time is now. And the person whom you are talking is now with whom you are talking, they are most important person, and doing good is the most important work. So we have come to the lesson, end of this lesson. I hope you might have understood the lesson well. Okay, children, I will be okay, children. I hope you might have understood the story well. Did you understand? Okay. So I will meet you in the next class. Till then, children, obey your parents. Take care. Have a good day. Thank you.